Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. So I'm like rushing to get the show started, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have my sound effects ready. Oh my gosh, I'm like rushing, da-da-da-da. And I just barely made it, guys. I hope you guys had a great night tonight so far. I hope you guys are enjoying your week. I'm on vacation, so it still feels like a weekend for me. I'm so happy to be able to just be away from work for a little bit and kind of recharge. So this is very therapeutic for me, and I'm happy to be here and enjoy this moment with you guys. I mean, you don't have to go somewhere. You don't have to be on a beach in Acapulco, wherever that is, to enjoy a vacation. Sometimes just being away from work, being away from your colleagues, no disrespect to them, but just spending time with the people that matter the most to you, which is your family, is what you need. It's what the doctor ordered, okay? So I'm doing that. I'm spending a lot of time with my family, my kids. I'm doing stuff for myself, going to get my feet done, the pedicure, running errands, doing odd jobs around the house. I just patched some holes and painted some walls today. Wifey came home, looked at the wall like, oh my God, it looks beautiful. Your patchwork went to the next level. So these are the things that I'm doing. And then when I have time, I sit down, I set up the live. Aki sends me the information. The research crew is working super hard, sending me information. And we log on and we come together as a family and we talk about these tough, very heartbreaking topics, because that's something that's a part of who I am too, right? Giving a voice to the voiceless. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today, for giving me a little bit of your time. Some of you guys is going to be during the day. Sometimes some of you guys is going to be in the nighttime that you're joining me, depending on where you are in the country and where you are in the world. And we do have a tough story to talk about today. And I want to apologize first off before we get deep into this, because I might be a little mean today. And I don't want to be a little mean. I might be a little mean to the people who were supposed to protect Kei'mani because they did not protect her. I might be a little mean because I'm tired of the per diem dads and the per diem moms that love to make babies but never want to take care of them. I'm going to give you an update that just came out today in the Kei'mani case that broke my heart. The fact that these two people are fighting over something that nobody should be fighting over. They shouldn't be fighting over who's going to put Latigue in the ground respectfully, with love. But people are fighting over it because who is her real parents? For most of us, if something happens to our beloveds, we already know. The courts know, society knows who's calling the shots. The problem is nobody really cared about Kei'mani. So now that she's gone, mommy wants to step up. But who's mommy? Where did she come from? Where has she been all of Kei'mani's life? And then we hear some disturbing things in the courts about this dynamic that really broke my heart and really made me decide to come and do a live 10 o'clock in the night. I was going to take a break today because I plan on giving you guys like 2-3 shows for the rest of the week until I go back to work. I was going to say today's my day, but it's not my day because we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the per diem parents that love to make children but never want to take care of them. But I'm going to be fair. I have not listened to in fact, 90% of the stuff that we're going to go over today, but I want to hear from Kei'mani's mother, from her own words, this dynamic. So I got the link. We're going to react to it fresh together. We're going to listen to her talk about her daughter, their circumstances, etc. We're going to see if we can find some sense in this madness and tragedy that is the loss of Kei'mani Latigue. A beautiful little girl who endured so much when all she needed was somebody to care, somebody to protect her. Something that it did not look like her grandmother, if that's even her maternal grandmother. I'm still not too sure about that. Or paternal. I'm not sure. Nor even her mother, her bio mother. So I'm going to start you guys off with this news story that's going to kind of break down the whole legal fight that happened today, of which Kei'mani's mother biological mother lost. Now, why would a judge choose the grandmother over the mother? Well, we're going to figure that out together. This is the one video that I did see, but you'll catch up to speed with me, and then we'll be just sailing in the dark together trying to make light out of something very, very, very dark and sinister. Let's do it.
11 plus right now, we are diving into new information in the murder of 13-year-old Kei'mani Latigue.
It's a heart-wrenching story, a young girl whose tragic disappearance and death has deeply affected our community. We're breaking down the timeline of events, the ongoing investigation, and the community's response to this devastating loss.
So here's what we know today. A judge has ruled Kei'mani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, will take custody of the teen's body and estate. Her mother argued she heard she would not be invited and wanted permissions to go with another funeral service.
The grandmother also said there would be a public funeral for Kei'mani on Friday, April 11th. No specific details have been announced, though.
And there are signs of the pending demolition.
When you see that beautiful little girl, I want to go back. First of all, well, they went so fast.
Service.
The grandmother also said there would be a public funeral for.
When you see that beautiful little girl, I want you to remember two things. Number one, when she passed, that's not how she looked. That's not how she looked when she passed. She looked like a boy. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why she was trying to make herself not look feminine and protect herself. We all know why she was doing that. That's number one. Remember that. And number two, remember how she passed. Remember what that man did to her. Everything that he did. Only through that anger, that rage, can we find the justice that we deserve. And can we, through that justice, deter the next monster from doing what happened to Kei'mani to somebody else. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget.
Kei'mani on Friday, April 11th. No specific details have been announced, though.
And there are signs of the pending demolition of the home where police found Kei'mani's body. City crews put up fencing around the burned out building in East Toledo. We're told it'll come down in the next 3 months. Now, Kei'mani's story has touched so many people in our community, and there continues to be calls for justice and accountability.
While her dad is charged with killing her, there are still unanswered questions from the community. Let's take a look back at the investigation so far. Kei'mani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, reported her missing in the early morning hours of Tuesday, March 18th. By just after.
Remember, that's the grandmother. That's the grandmother that was sending text messages to herself, and at least that's what I believe, allegedly, pretending to be kidnappers, ex-traffickers, cartel members who allegedly abducted this youngin' and was about to take her to Monaco. You know, that's my thing. I love saying they take them to Monaco. I don't know why. What is it about Monaco that I always say that? I don't know. She's the one, when this beautiful angel was missing, was playing games on her phone, pretending like she was communicating with kidnappers. But she wasn't. Hold on here. Why are we not hearing about this? Why we don't hear anything about law enforcement or district attorneys, county attorneys addressing this? Because that exists. That was real, allegedly. It's like that's just flying over our heads that this girl is missing. Grandma has text messages of her communicating with alleged abductors about paying a $5,000 ransom to return it. Remember, that's how they referred to her, as it, to return it in one piece. That sounds like something that somebody who's guilty is trying to cover something up, buy some time, maybe might be an accomplice, would do, in my opinion. Let's keep going.
4 o'clock that day, Toledo police put out an alert on social media.
By Saturday, March 22nd, 4 days later, Kei'mani's family intensified their efforts. Volunteers joined in a public search. And her mother, Tiara Caston, expressed concerns over her daughter's disappearance. It would be 2 days later, on Monday, March 24th, that police would find Kei'mani's body inside a burned-out house in East Toledo. The man identified as her father, Darnell Jones, would be charged with murder that night.
The next day, Tuesday, March 25th, Columbus police spotted Jones in Short North.
Now, these officers did an amazing job. Great job. The only issue I have with the job that these officers did is maybe they should have just aimed a little bit more to the left or the right. Maybe. Other than that, they did a good job.
Body camera video shows Jones appear to reach for a gun. Officers shot him multiple times. Columbus police say he's still in the hospital and has yet to appear in court. Then Thursday, March 27th, Lucas County commissioners voted to form a task force to look into Lucas County Children's Services. The goal, according to Commissioner Pete Gherkin, to restore trust between the community and Children's Services in response to Kei'mani's death.
Now, we learned just today there will be a public funeral for Kei'mani on Friday, April 11th. Her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, said in court that her family is working with Dale Riggs Funeral Home. Dorothy argued in court today that the original plan was to have...
Now, Aki sent me this one. I saw one on my own. I'm waiting for the facts. Well, this is not the one I saw because this one's long, 25 minutes. We're not watching all of that. I want to get to the point where, and I might switch over if I don't hear it in the next minute or two, even though this is giving good information, so I'm going to let it play for another minute or two. But if not, I'm going to have to find the one that I watched because it's going to talk about some of the arguments that was made in the court. And from those arguments that was made in the court, you get to see just how much of a per diem mom bio mom was. But let's keep going.
Have a private and public funeral last week.
However, she says the holdup came when Kei'mani's mother, Tiara Caston, wanted to have the right to Kei'mani's funeral planning and estate. Tiara claimed...
Okay, I like this. I think they're about to say what I wanted to see. Now, before I go any further, I got to shout this person out because they said it's the first time they caught her live. Big shout out to Montana, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Says, thank you for being you strategic. Happy I finally caught a live. And there's one more super chat that came before the live started, and I want to shout that out too because I love when people do that. Jamie MP with a $3 super chat before the live even started, just setting us off right and showing that love and that support. Stephanie L. Ramos became a recruit before the live started. Fly High became a recruit before the live started. I love when people show that love when we're leading up to a live and show that support. We need it. We need that support. We want to be here. We want to take this seriously and give this the energy that it deserves. All right. I appreciate you guys. Let's keep going.
Dorothy was trying to block her from attending the funeral. Ultimately, the judge granted Dorothy the right to proceed.
Why?
And how long was your granddaughter living with you on a daily basis? For 5 years?
For the past 5.5 years.
For the past 5.5 years, Kei'mani has lived with her on a day-to-day basis. You may not have been able to hear it, but I'm translating for you. That's what was said. Now, you think this judge doesn't know that this lady may allegedly, in my opinion, I have no evidence, have had something to do with this little girl's ending or disappearance or abuse? It's possible. That's on that judge's mind, but a judge has to go by the facts. In these type of cases, we see all the time where custody cases and stuff, judges will clearly give custody to the mother when they maybe should give it to the dad. If this judge could have given the rights to the mother, I guarantee you this judge would have. But mommy made it very, very hard because of her choices and her actions. Let's keep going.
Yes.
How frequently did your daughter visit?
We haven't seen her collectively since her 11th birthday.
11th birthday since the last time Kei'mani saw her mother. Big shout out to Tish Paral, who's a patrol member. Thank you for supporting. Since her 11th birthday, that was the last time that bio mom who's up there like showing all that attitude, all that neck action. Where was all of that zeal and that zest when this little baby was alive and needed a mother to protect her? Where was all of that attitude? Where was all of that care? All of that disdain? All that fire and brimstone and energy? Where was it when your baby needed you? A little girl that everybody said was not problematic. With all the trauma she was going to, she wasn't running the streets. She wasn't being, I don't even want to say it because people use that, and I think it's so disgusting when people call little girls fast. But I just wanted to just articulate and just, be colorful with my language. But there's a reason why these little girls are doing these things, and I find it disgusting. Like they did it with the Naziah Harris case. Because Naziah Harris was talking the way she was talking to Butts in the chat, in the text messages. People are, oh, look how she's talking. She's talking that way because she's been groomed. She's talking that way because she's a victim and she's a child and she doesn't know right from wrong. So I digress and I stop myself before I say that. But she wasn't even doing that stuff. My understanding is that this little girl was getting great grades. This little girl was helpful. This little girl could not even collect her niceness award because she passed away before they gave it to her. This little girl wasn't a burden. This 13-year-old wouldn't have stepped in her mother's house and been a burden on her. She probably would have been an asset to mommy's household, but mommy didn't have time for her because mommy was a per diem mom. Another egg donor. Just like Jen Soto. In fact, Jen Soto did a better job because Jen Soto was at least living with Maddie when she was feeding the lamb to the lion's den. This one just sent the lamb to the lion's den and disappeared. She ran. She was on a safari. Kei'mani fell off of the Jeep. Mommy just kept driving. She didn't even look back to see if Kei'mani's okay. That's the kind of parents that we have running around out here, loving to have the title of mommy and daddy, but don't want to do none of the work that makes them earn that title and deserve that respect. But don't tell them anything otherwise. Don't tell her she didn't love her daughter, even though the last time she saw her daughter was 11 years old. Shame.
Which was 2022. And my other daughter went to Cleveland to pick her up. Other than that, she claimed she had no transportation to even come to the birthday party.
So I'm sorry, you might have said this already. There would be a private funeral?
There will be a private ceremony, and then there will be a public ceremony for all of those that donated. It's our way of saying thank you. We appreciate, your gestures.
When would the private one be?
The private ceremony will be for family only.
And that would be when?
That will be Thursday.
And then the public ceremony Friday?
Correct.
And the funeral home can do that?
Yes. They're just waiting on me to get back in contact with them and let them know whether we should go forth or, if it rules in her.
People can't even come to court with proper attire on. Can't even come to court with proper attire on. Let's keep going. Orange Rose with a 49 super chat says, step 1, hit the like. Step 2, turn down headphones because Strategic be preaching. And I'll be screaming too. I know I scream and people complain, but you can always put the volume down, man. Like, you don't think about that before you hit me in the chat talking about why you screaming. I scream because I'm passionate. I scream because you should not be mumbling when you're talking about dead angels. I don't mumble when I talk about dead angels. Nobody screamed for Kei'mani when she was alive. The least we could do is scream for her now that she's gone, that she will not be forgotten. It's the least we could do. Because we don't put no resources in CPS. We got money for bombs. We got money for this. We got money for that. We got money for everything, but we don't have money for qualified child protective services, highly trained police officers, teachers that get paid and care. More than one school psychologist that can actually spend time with children that need that help. We don't have money for none of that stuff. But we got money for everything else. And so, therefore, we have these victims. So, yeah, the least we could do, since we don't want to invest in these beautiful angels when they're alive, we don't want to ensure their safety. We don't want to build a society that frowns upon people that just make children and don't take care of them. That should be a crime. You should get sent to jail if you make a child and you abandon it. That means all these deadbeat dads out there should be felons. And all those deadbeat mothers that want to follow in the footsteps of these deadbeat dads, they should be felons too. We don't want to have those kind of consequences in our society. Well, guess what? We're going to have more dead angels. The least we could do is scream for them when they're gone, because that's all they're worth, right? That's all we're willing to do. Let's keep going.
Favor what she's going to do.
I have not resided in Toledo in 12 years. I left because of the strain between me and my mother. As I said before, I was under the impression by other family members that have been.
All right, I want to go back because she just mumbling. She mumbling. Come on, girl, scream. I want to go back and hear what she has. This is the mother that's talking. Let me hear it.
And you know, if it rules in her favor, what she's going to do.
I have not resided in Toledo in 12 years. I left because of the strain between me and my mother.
She says she left because of the strain between her and her mother. Somebody says, what is this hearing for? Is who's going to control the funeral? That's what the hearing is for. The grandmother was planning a funeral. The daughter, who's a biological mother of kei'mani, feels that she wasn't invited to the funeral, so she took the grandmother to court to sue her for the ability to be able to plan the funeral because she's a bio mother. The grandmother won because the bio mother did not spend any time. Excuse me. Let me not soften the blow. The mother abandoned her child. The mother abandoned kei'mani, and that is why, without a custody agreement, there was no custody agreement. The grandmother did not have legal custody of kei'mani. Without a custody agreement, the judge decided to vote in the favor of the grandmother, who might allegedly very well have participated or had something to do with the demise of kei'mani. But guess what? She got more stake to that little girl than a bio mom because the mother abandoned her. Let's keep going.
Like I said before, I was under the impression by other family members that have been in contact with her that I was not to be invited to my daughter's funeral processions. I have been threatened, not by my mother, but by my sister, who has been steadfast, sticking to my mother. And that's okay, I don't mind their relationship at all. But I have been threatened by my sister during this.
She's been threatened by her mother. Is that for now, or is that what made you abandon kei'mani? I don't know. Let's keep going.
As in a lot of situations where family people aren't getting along pretty well, we hear different comments about things that aren't relevant to what we're doing here. But
this is the funny thing, right? Let's say kei'mani's grandmother had nothing to do, and the only reason why I think the kei'mani's grandmother may have something to do with kei'mani's abuse or passing is because of the suspiciousness of when she reported that kei'mani was missing, number one, and number two, those text messages. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things, but those are the things that really stand out to me, right? The things that really stand out to me is the time that it took her to report this little girl missing. That's number one. And number two, the suspicious text messages that was clearly written by one person that is alleged to have belonged to the grandmother, where she's talking to these fake kidnappers. Let's say those two things never existed, and whatever other things that make her seem suspicious. I would not blame her for not wanting to invite the mother. Let's say the grandmother literally was a good grandmother and did everything she could for kei'mani. I would not be upset with her as an observer from the outside that she's not inviting the mother to the funeral, especially since the mother abandoned the little girl. She abandoned her. But anyway, let's keep going.
Focus today is on the statute and the items that the court's to consider. And the ones that stand out the most are close personal relationship, and then reasonable as the practicality of any plans the person has for disposition, and convenience of family members and other friends wishing to pay their respects to the declarant. And based upon those three factors, it's clear to the court that the application for right of disposition filed by Dorothy Latigue shall be granted. So the court will issue a entry.
This is actually really good. This version that Aki gave me is really good because this one's going into detail. The one I had was just a news source and it gave a quick snippet, but this is really good because we're actually hearing the hearing. Great job, Aki. Don't let it get to your head.
In the next hour or so, and so we'll get that to the funeral home, and we will proceed to get this child laid to rest. And I'm not saying anybody's right here or wrong, but I'm saying based upon the factors that I need to consider, those factors weigh in favor of you having the right of disposition. Basically, a lot of it's a close personal relationship. You raised this child.
No further details have been released about the public funeral, just that there will be a private service for family on Thursday. That is not open for anyone else to attend. Then the public event will be Friday. We'll share details on that as soon as we get them here on WTOL 11 Plus and WTOL.com, along with our social media channels.
Lucas County Children's Services says it is bound by state law what it can and cannot say. Director Randy Muth explained at a news conference today that he cannot release personal details or anything that could interfere with the criminal investigation.
You know, aren't we tired of children's services failing these kids? I mean, aren't we tired of it? Remember Nick's Mary? Go look up Nick's Mary. Go look up. I had the pleasure of actually interacting with the parent of Nick's Mary, who was incarcerated. Go look up Nick's Mary. That's your homework, guys. Go look that up. Look up that tragedy of how social services in New York betrayed Nick's Mary and what happened to that beautiful little angel. Big shout out to everybody who's watching the show right now. We got 250 people on the live stream. Please hit that like button, support the channel. I'm going to let this play out for a second. And then I want to see what they have to say about the children's services. And then I want to go over so we can listen to some of these interviews that the mother and these folks are and all that stuff. And somebody inside the chat was like, did you hear the interview from the aunt? Email me that stuff. I'm staying on this. I'm going to be covering this because this is terrible. It's another missed opportunity we had to save an angel. And now it's another dead angel because we didn't care. And when I say we, it's not us, even though we collectively have our role to play because our tax dollars are spread around this country. It doesn't matter where you live at. You pay your federal taxes, you pay whatever taxes, your consumption taxes, whatever. It's spread around this country. And even if it's 1 cent from your coffers that went into Alabama, went to Chicago, went to Detroit, and these government agencies don't utilize that money to actually protect the people, it's a failure on all of us collectively as a society, man. It's another missed opportunity that we have. We could have saved an angel, and unfortunately, we didn't, man. Let's let it play out for a second, and then let's go to some of these interviews.
He did note that his agency serves 8,500 children and received 13,000 allegations of child abuse and neglect just last year. Now, Lucas County Children's Services is working with the state to make sure this case is handled properly.
As director of Lucas County Children's Services, I'd ask that you remember our staff as they go out into the community every day to provide services, safety, and supports to the complex dynamics of family need when social crisis occurs. I've seen how deeply this tragedy has affected them, and I thank them for their continuing compassion work and the heroism that they do every day. We're aware that the community is looking for answers. It's absolutely appropriate to do so, and the community is entitled to them. We want them too. To that end, we are conducting an internal review to see if anything could have been done or should have been done to prevent this tragedy. Immediately after I learned of kei'mani's murder, I asked the Ohio Department of Children and Youth, that's the state agency that has supervisory authority over all local county-level child protection agencies to conduct a formal on-site review of the services we provided this family and our policies, procedures, practices, and protocols as they were applied to this case. We'll be able to share the results of both of those reviews as soon as they're completed.
As the investigation into Kei'mani Latigue's murder continues, Lucas County Children's Services is addressing questions about its previous involvement with the teen and her family. The agency confirms it received 2 separate reports of alleged physical abuse by Kei'mani's grandmother more than a year before she was killed. Executive Director Randy Muth outlined the steps taken during those investigations and emphasizes no one, including family or community sources, ever mentioned the man now charged with Kei'mani's murder.
So we received 2 separate allegations of excessive physical discipline by Kei'mani's grandmother. The first was in December of 2023, 16 months before her murder, and the second was March of 2024, 12 months before her murder. Now you'll see on our website that we received 2 referrals in March of 2024. It's important to understand.
All right, I want you guys, because he's going to talk his civil servant executive appointee, which means political, because he didn't take a test for his job. He's a political appointee. He's the one who's running that agency. So the governor, the mayor, whoever says, oh, you donated some money, or you're my friend, or whatever, come do this job. So he's a politician. We know that multiple people made referrals, teachers, because these teachers are talking. These teachers are talking. They all over Facebook like, yo, I would make referrals that she's dirty. I make referrals. She got bruises on her. Professionals, not your next door neighbor that you got beef with and all that stuff because they parked in your parking spot and now they want to say that, you know, you're abusing your kids because they just evil like that. No, professionals made these complaints. Professionals made these complaints. Nothing happened. But there's a larger issue with this that's even beyond Child Protective Services, because once again, we're asking other people to do our jobs, right? We're asking the state to be parents. We're asking state to save us from ourselves. And, you know, I think the state has a duty to do that because we're taxpayers, but I also have a problem with that because we should not even have to have the state in our lives, because we should be reasonable, sound judgment, ethical people that we're not abusing our children, right? Look at it from the state's perspective. What are you going to do with Kei'mani? You can't take her from the grandmother and send it to the moms, because the mom is a per diem mom. She don't even want the baby. So what's the other alternative? Put her in the system. Now she goes in the system and she's in a foster home. Beautiful little girl. What's to say she's not going to get abused there? How many people get abused in foster home? Sexually, physically, mentally. I mean, all of this because people don't know how to be decent human beings. Because grandma can't keep her hands to herself. Daddy can't keep his stuff in his pants. And mommy just can't even come around. Mommy can't even pick up a phone. Mommy can't even just come around. So now people are having children and we got to raise those kids, man. And the government is not good at raising children. The government is barely good at doing anything except for build a bomb and a really nice jet. We can't even do that in an affordable way. That's a different conversation we don't talk about on True Crime and Strategic. The bottom line is, why are people making children that they aren't willing to protect and love? Let's keep going, man.
That those 2 referrals were made within hours of each other and they related to the same event. So there were not 3 separate investigations. There were just 2. One in December of 2023, one in March 2024. Prior to those 2 referrals in December of 23 and March of 2024, the last involvement we had with Kei'mani occurred in 2011 when she was an infant. Further, at no point in our involvement with Kei'mani was there any mention of Darnell Jones by anyone in the family, by anyone involved with the family, or by anyone associated with the schools. Again, as I said, both investigations alleged that grandmother had used excessive physical discipline. Those investigations were initiated on the very same day that we received the calls. Both investigations involved reviewing the family record, including identified family members, speaking directly with the persons who made the reports, a physical inspection of the home and the living conditions, speaking with the child alone, speaking with collateral sources. These are people who know the family but don't live in the home. Doing background checks, application of state-mandated family assessment and safety assessment tools, and then sending letters to the mandated reporters when our investigation was complete.
See, he said that, mandated reporters. He said, then sending letters to the mandated reporters when their investigation was complete. Those mandated reporters were the teachers. And how CPS works, if you don't know, because I mean, I've never had to deal with them except for professionally. Whenever I made referrals based off cases that I have where I felt that a juvie was in danger, they send you a copy of their closing of the case. They don't even give you details as law enforcement. I don't even get details like what they did. They just say whether it's substantiated or not substantiated or founded or whatever their designation is. I forgot. It's like a weird word that they use, but whatever. Very innocuous, just weird word that they use. They don't use substantiated or unsubstantiated. Bottom line is they'll tell you as a mandated reporter what the outcome is. They won't give you details, but they'll tell you what the outcome is in terms of whether your complaint was found to be true or not, or proven or not, rather. Not true, but proven would be a better way of framing it. So let's keep going. And somebody said founded or unfounded, but they don't use those words in my county. They don't use those words. Founded and unfounded is what I do. That's what we use. But they use some other word that doesn't make any freaking sense to me, that you would complicate it rather than just saying whether something is substantiated or unsubstantiated or founded or unfounded. It's almost like they were speaking ultimate lawyer speak to protect themselves. That's what I get off of it. But let's keep going.
Investigations, both kei'mani and her grandmother stated that the household consisted of just them. Neither mentioned Darnell Jones, neither identified him as a father of the child, and neither said that he was a support for the child or the father. And again, none of the referral sources nor the collateral sources we spoke with ever mentioned a father nor mentioned Darnell Jones. No record exists which establishes paternity of kei'mani, not with Darnell Jones nor with any other person. There was, back in 2011, an alleged father who was excluded by genetic testing. Subsequent to that, though, there's been no efforts that we can discover to identify.
So we don't even know if he's a biological father at this time. I'm going to say this, and I have to be very clear with this. I have no evidence of what I'm about to say, but I've been thinking about this for a while when it comes to this case. So this is all alleged. And this is just my opinion on an opinion show. When we talk about the mechanics of law enforcement, I'm educating you. But when I'm talking about my opinion, this is an opinion show. It is my opinion without any facts at this time that I feel, so now we're talking about my feelings, that it's possible that the grandmother was selling kei'mani. I have a feeling that is what was happening in that house. There's another word I wanted to use, but I chose not to use that word out of respect. So I said selling instead of the word I wanted to use. I have a feeling that's what was happening in that house. Something went too far. Something went too far This man who was experiencing psychological issues went too far, and then people started trying to cover their arse, such as sending text messages to themselves like Kei'mani was kidnapped, even though we know she was not, at least not in the way that those text messages were trying to frame she was kidnapped by some organization or something asking for a ransom. It's just my opinion. Let's keep going.
By a father of Kei'mani. At the conclusion of both those comprehensive investigations, a team decision was made where it was determined that it would be inappropriate to ask the juvenile court to remove Kei'mani from her current caregiver. That team decision was made by the supervisor of the caseworker, and in consultation with those documents and tools that I indicated. I think it's important to understand that almost no decision here at Lucas County Children's Services is made by one person alone. Instead of seeking or asking the juvenile court to remove Kei'mani from the care of her grandmother, we provided short-term services and referred the family to other community supports. Again, our last referral of child abuse or neglect with respect to Kei'mani was received on March 21st, 2024, more than 1 year prior to her murder.
The executive director of Lucas County Children's Services says he's aware of reports that other people called in involving Kei'mani, but his agency doesn't have any record of that. So he's asking anyone who believes they may have called Lucas County Children's Services regarding Kei'mani within the past year to call the Family Center hotline. That number is 419.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it to me real quick so I can set up that next video. This is pretty good here, but I don't want to just use this whole, just this 25. This is really good. I think they did an excellent job so far. They're like really putting together all the relevant things. Really good job, Aki. I see here that he gives more of a press conference. There's probably a lot of good information there, but the show has to move forward. Okay. So I want to go ahead. We're going to be using Shaneatra Speaks. Shaneatra Speaks. We've used her before in the past. She's really good at like compiling stuff from Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. It's really her forte. I really like what she's doing over there. Her show is growing steadily. So I definitely wishing her the best of luck, because I like what she's doing, especially when it comes to these cases of these little angels who are ending up dead, that we keep finding ourselves talking about, which is a travesty in itself. So we're going to go over to Shaneatra Speaks. We're going to listen to a little bit of this. And we got a few things we want to listen to, a few things. Bring it over to you guys real quick.
Inside his sweatshirt. So did you attempt to wear that when Darnell approached the police officer that he attempted to fire?
It was mentioning that you guys were notified, and I believe it went to the detectives' work as well. There was communication and messaging through, was there a phone call or anything, or Crime Stoppers? Was there anything sent out? How did you guys find out about the body inside the house?
Through detective work, really. So, so through some interviews and some investigating. At this time, I can't disclose why or how, because it's still very pertinent to the investigation. And at this point, we're not ready to talk about that aspect of it. But yes, it was our detectives doing a great job interviewing and investigating and following up on some leads that got us to that location.
Now, going to the body, when it was reported that it was found in the house, when lots of people found out and it spread in the community, people showed up very soon right after that while you guys were there doing your work. There are a lot of people live streaming on their phones, showing it and kind of just talking about it in general. There's a huge presence there. I mean, we saw it.
So something funny just happened just now. I love to tell you guys what's like going on in my head. I don't know why. Sometimes I give you guys too much information, but not really. But this is funny. This is funny. Not to change the subject on what we're talking about, but you guys know that I'm turning 41 this week, right? This is my birthday week, whatever. I'm old now. So I'm looking at this young woman, this reporter. She's clearly an attractive girl. And I said, wow, she's cute. And then I said, bro, she's mad young. Like, you're old. I said that about myself. I said, like, nah. She's like, I was looking at her like, I don't know. This is weird. Like, I guess I am old now. Am I old, chat? I feel like I'm old. Like, this girl's probably like 30, and I'm looking at her like, oh, yeah, come on. Stop it, strategic. Shame. Let's keep going.
Was there that day. Did that at all impact your guys' work?
Foxy says she turned 41 on Valentine's Day. Foxy, you're old.
There while you were doing that? Did it affect how you guys were doing? I mean, could you guys have done anything differently there if people weren't there, yelling, shouting, what? No, obviously, anytime you add a little bit of chaos to a scene, that makes it a little bit harder for us to do our job. But, we're prepared for that. So we have officers that can contain the outer perimeter and make sure that no one gets in. And then our detectives, they're focused on their job. They're going to do their job whether there's people watching or not. So they're still going to be able to do it. It's just the outside officers being involved more and trying to maintain, as you just said, a very highly agitated scene for good reasons, right? But the reality is, it doesn't affect the investigation itself. It just makes it a little bit harder for the officers on the scene to maintain that perimeter. Do you have any idea how many of your officers were out there that day? I actually don't know how many we had deployed out there that day.
I'm going to approve this, Nordica, but be careful with your language because YouTube is automatically holding your stuff. And if they're doing that, then they're going to hurt me as a channel. So, we always struggle with YouTube to maintain being monetized because we talk about these tough topics, and YouTube looks at the whole channel as a whole, including what people are saying inside of the chat. So I love your energy, Nordica. I love your energy. I feel your passion. Believe me, I feel it too. And I agree with what you're saying, but, express it in a different way, so that you're not catching the attention of YouTube. But I'm going to prove it. All right, let's keep going.
I know we had a lot of detectives, roughly 10 to 12 detectives that were on scene. As far as the outer perimeter for the number of patrol officers on scene, I don't know that number. Now, moving on to Darnell Jones, he's in the hospital currently, and that's where we're kind of at with that situation. But I know that yesterday you mentioned in an interview that you guys sent detectives down there for questioning. Has he confessed to anything? Has he confessed previously before then? What are you guys getting? So we did send detectives down and interviewed him in his hospital room. We made progress there, so we have some things that we're going through at this point. Once we get all the information that he provided, that we've gathered, we'll meet with the prosecutors. We'll walk through that timeline with the prosecutors and decide with their guidance on the charges that will be filed. And then at that point, we'll talk about what charges are going to be out there. We'll release that information. But right now, we did talk to him. We are moving forward. I would say we're in a pretty good spot investigatively anyways on moving forward with this case. Speaking of charges, on Monday, we read in a report that he was charged with third-degree felony of abduction. At this point, what charges are we still looking at? Do you happen to know? Is that charge still there, and is a murder?
I mean, at this point, we know that he was charged with the M word. Let me bring it back over to me because I want to get us over to where the mother. So let me see here. This one is exclusive. Mother kei'mani Latigue speaks out. Perfect. Well, this is a very short video. It's 36, but I think there's more. So remember, I'm discovering this with you guys. But let's listen to this quick one real quick, just so we can get that out there, put that on the record, and then we'll go to the other ones, all right? So this is the mother speaking out. Let's do it.
I said I've always been fighting for my daughter. That fight has never ended. In June, my mother was supposed to be signing a third-party custody transfer so that I could get my baby back because she said that she did not want her anymore. She said my daughter was stealing, my daughter was lying. I don't know that any of that is factual, and I don't believe it. But she said that my daughter was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and she just couldn't take it anymore. She wanted me to get my daughter. We were supposed to be going.
She wanted me to get my daughter. Even when she speaks, you could tell it's the one-sided. Like, listen, we're trained to read between the lines, okay? That's what I do for a living, and that's what you guys do as true crime connoisseurs. Yeah, I'm the detective, but you guys are the connoisseurs. Just like I put in the work face to face with the perps. You guys put in the work by consuming this content day in and day out. You're going to pick things up. Listen to her words. Read between the lines. She wanted me to get my daughter back. Does that sound like somebody who wants their daughter back? Does it look like the fight was with her or the fight was with the grandmother trying to push the daughter back on her? If any of it is true, her subconscious does not even show the passion we would expect to see from a mother trying to get custody back from her daughter. So let's ask some deeper questions. Why did you lose custody in the first place? Why was Kei'mani with grandma for 5 years? Why was the last time that you saw your daughter at her 11th-year-old birthday and the girl is 13 years old when she lost her life? These are questions that we have. I want to run that back. I want you guys to listen to the words that she says. Listen to it.
I said, I've always been fighting for my daughter. That far.
I've always been fighting for our daughter. What's the proof? Where's the proof? Maybe she has proof. One thing about me, I'm willing to change my mind at the drop of a dime. That's what an investigator does. The leads take you this way. You get more evidence. Leads take you that way. You got to follow the leads. You can't be stuck on one path because then you'll never find the truth. You got to follow that breadcrumbs. Maybe she has proof, but where's the proof? Why did you lose custody in the first place is the question that we have. What made you an unfit parent that either A, you gave her up willingly, or B, somebody, i.e. a court, took the child away from you and gave custody to the grandmother who appears to have been an unfit person in their own right? 2 CPS cases of abuse. And under her nose, child loses her life. And at first we thought that the Mexican mafia is the one that kidnapped her because they sending messages allegedly. One-sided messages seems to be coming from the same phone with a ransom. And then we find out that it's this dad that nobody has proof is actually her dad. Is this even actually her dad? A person that nobody, according to Child Protective Services, has ever said was her dad. The only time we heard that this is allegedly her dad is when the grandmother said so. Because even the baby mama said that that's not the dad, from what I heard. But let's keep going. Let's listen to her words.
That fight has never ended. In June, my mother was supposed to be signing a third-party custody transfer so that I could get my baby back because she said that she did not want her anymore. She said my daughter was stealing. My daughter was lying. I don't know that any of that is factual, and I don't believe it. But she said that my daughter was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and she just couldn't take it anymore. She wanted me to get my daughter. We were supposed to be going to court for that, to give me custody of my daughter back, because every place that I've always had space for my daughter.
Every place that you've always had space for your daughter, but yet you didn't have your daughter, did you? All right, well, let's listen to mommy put on her show, because these folks love putting on a show because they like attention. These folks with this mentality, they love attention. They love attention, even when it's negative attention. So let's watch her put on her show, just to remind you of the drama that happened outside of the area where her baby's body was found. Her baby's body is found in that place, and this is the show that they're putting on outside of that child's final resting place.
Baby is in that house, and my baby is deceased. I cannot wait to see it's done.
A mother is demanding answers after a weeks-long search for her missing 13-year-old daughter comes to a tragic end.
Kei'mani Latigue's body was found in this abandoned house in East Toledo around 1:30 yesterday afternoon, 6 days after she went missing.
This morning, a memorial is growing outside that house in her memory. Candles spell out her name, and balloons of the number 13 mark her age.
A vigil last night showed community members coming together, hugging each other, shedding tears, and demanding that those responsible be served justice.
Right now, there's an arrest warrant out for Kei'mani's father, 33-year-old Darnell Jones. He's charged with her murder and abduction.
Jones reportedly told police he saw his daughter late Sunday night, claiming she called him afraid that somebody was trying to break into her grandmother's house. Jones says he and a cousin allegedly stayed with her.
Who's this cousin? I mean, I still haven't heard who this cousin is. I mean, it's probably not true, but like, who's this cousin that he said went with him to see if she was okay? Big shout out to Mia M with a $2 super chat. Says the poor little girl had no chance. Of course not. Look what she's surrounded by. Look what she was surrounded by. Let's keep going. Nordica says a cousin is in jail too. Well, listen, I'm trying to follow this case. I got a lot of other things going on. You guys got this information, send it to me. I don't have time to track a lot of this stuff down, so please do send it to me so I can read up on that, because I want to figure out who this cousin is. Let's keep going.
For about an hour and left around 12:30 a.m.
Police now say he gave inconsistent statements about being with Kei'mani that night. If you've seen Darnell Jones, we have a picture of him up on your screen right now, or know his whereabouts, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 419-255-1111.
And this morning, Kei'mani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, appears to be in custody.
Social media videos from yesterday afternoon show Toledo police taking Dorothy away from her house in handcuffs. Kei'mani's mom, Tiara Caston, tells us her mother, Dorothy, was taken into custody but didn't have information on any charges. WTOL has reached out repeatedly to police for more information, but
Grandma looked like she had a rough life, but this is old because Grandma and the police, and I do believe this, like they did this kind of like pseudo fake arrest, because she wasn't really arrested, but she was placed in handcuffs. She said that they put the handcuffs on her to take her out so that the people wouldn't go crazy and assault her, or something to that effect. It's this whole convoluted story that made no sense to me, because as law enforcement, you don't put cuffs on people unless you have probable cause to do it, either A, for your personal safety because they might be mentally ill or something and they're a danger to you or themselves or others, or B, you have probable cause to arrest them. So I don't really understand why they putting cuffs on people for show, because I wouldn't do it. I'm not putting cuffs on you unless I have probable cause to do it, because you're not going to swing around and try and sue me. But anyway, big shout out to everybody who's watching right now. We have over 300 people watching. Please do hit that like button, support the channel. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, okay, that's her intro. I was like, what is this? What am I watching? What's going on here? I was like, this is a music video or something. But hey, big shout out to, I've never seen this before. Aki sent this to me. I've never been on this channel before, but nice intro. I mean, high quality intro. But let's see what she has to say. And the name of the channel is KoldpieceTV. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit to get us where we need to be. And let's see.
I posted, Friday I posted the first part of it. This is the second part. And yes, guys, this interview was during the time when they were looking for Kei'mani, when she was considered missing. So let's jump into it.
The community has come together to help with this because, again, it's already a hard pill to swallow. And like I said, it's easy to point fingers of why she's not here.
Okay, so I think this is the biological mother here. She says, Kei'mani Latigue, biological mom, live interview part 2. So I'm still getting accustomed to voices with these folks, but this sounds a little bit like the mother. And so this is, and Aki said this is the mother. So this is the mother. Let's do it.
Why she's not here. They're asking questions that really have nothing to do with nothing other than what we already have on the table.
Right.
I wish they would pull out the search dogs. I just don't understand.
I just the clothes that they did get from my mother.
Okay, so this is the mother right here. This is the mother. This sounds like her. And she said the clothes that they got from my mother. All right.
Gave him a random pair of panties because she couldn't find the panties that was on the floor, I guess. I don't know.
That's
but
too.
She gave him a random pair of panties and she gave him my daughter's pajama pants. But with everything that with what she did give the detectives, they sent it to the lab and they were not able to get anything off of it except for Kei'mani's DNA. So I mean, without the panties, we really don't even know.
First of all, like, we got a active investigation, what could probably end up being a capital case. It's probably already a capital case. Why are you talking about results of lab tests on the internet? Why are you giving, like somebody said it in the chat, like, for low frequency people, like, cloud is everything for these folks. Like, you giving interviews, and no shade on the channel. You know, I'm happy the channel got the interview because we could react to it. So good get on the channel. Good, you're doing your job as a YouTuber. But I'm talking about the person who is the decedent's relative, right? The moms. Why are you here? The YouTuber is doing their job. Why are you here? Why are you here telling confidential information, investigative information on YouTube? Like, make us work for it. Like, we do this on, like, the Madeline Soto case. Like, we get the lab report. We're FOIA requesting that. We're working hard for that. Or rather, we know who's getting it. We reacting to what they got. Much love and respect to those YouTubers who put up that money to get those reports. But there's an effort that's going into, and people exploiting the laws that exist in places like Florida, etc., those sunshine laws, that we get this information. Why are you, as mommy, bio mommy, giving us this information, telling us that there's no DNA here and there and all of that stuff, basically helping the defense? Helping to put that narrative out there for the defense that there's no evidence. My client didn't do anything. Look, even the mother was on the internet talking about how there's no evidence. I just think that's inappropriate. I don't think it serves anything but to give clout to the mom because she wants attention. That's the energy I'm getting. Because it certainly is not helping your daughter's case. You just want to talk about something. You just want to matter. But let's keep going.
And then they keep going to the fact that everyone's posting old pictures of her. There's no updated pictures of her.
I mean, so I did get 2 updated pictures earlier today. Keep in mind, I have not seen my daughter besides this past Saturday. I haven't seen my daughter in years. My mother has not allowed me to. My mother is very good at, when she's upset with my daughter or when she's upset at me, she uses us as bargaining chips against each other. When my mother is upset at me, she'll take my daughter's phone or she'll completely cut out contact so that I don't have any.
How's that even possible? I mean, anything is possible. And like I said, I follow leads. I follow facts. So if you show me facts that could say that this is possible, I will run with it. I'll say, okay, these are the facts. This is how grandma was able to do this. I just don't understand, in America, a system that's built to favor mothers. We're not going to have the whole men versus women crap going on this channel. This ain't a manosphere channel. We don't do that here. But we all know, as a matter of fact, that the system is built to prioritize mothers. Explain to me how a bio mother loses custody and control of her daughter where grandma can do this to her. Explain to me how that's possible. It's not adding up.
Way to reach her or my daughter. When she's upset at my daughter, she does the same thing. She'll take my daughter's phone so she can't talk to me. She'll take away her ability to go see her dad. She'll make sure that if one of us happen to call my mom, she makes it to where kei'mani's not available to talk.
Yeah, that right there is a big red flag anyways.
But I mean, like I said, before Saturday, I have not seen my baby in years, so I didn't have any updated pictures. But I am going to be making new flyers with the pictures that I have. I am going to be making new flyers to be passed out so that, you know what I'm saying, so that everyone's aware.
Yes. Despite it's just mind-boggling. It's actually like it just makes my stomach turn because it's just how it goes from me talking to you over the weekend before the baby's party and how
Yeah.
excited you were and her playing the game and happy to be there to this weirdo shit.
Listen, my baby had a time. My baby had a time. We were laughing, joking, playing. Um, and it's crazy because like just being in my baby's presence, even for them 2 hours, I'm like, I'm so happy, you know what I'm saying, that I brought her into this world because she reminds me so much of myself. Like this girl is exactly like me, personality, like how expressive she is, how funny she is. Like this girl is my she's split DNA.
You wasn't there, man. You wasn't there. The majority of my audience is females, women. Most of you have children. Does anything that she's saying right now, describing her relationship and how she felt about kei'mani, make any sense to you? Considering she was not there. Make it make sense. Maybe, I'm looking at it from a male's perspective. Maybe the testosterone in my veins is skewing my viewpoint of this situation. Can the estrogen in the room help me make sense of this? Does this make sense to you, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies, does this make sense to you? Let's keep going.
Hey, for me, she is my twin. I can't even come up with the words, bro. Like me seeing her for them 2 hours, like brought so much hope and so much happiness into my world all at once. Like I'm like, okay, things are going good, things are looking up. Hope is up, faith is up. And then I wake up to this like complete fucking whirlwind.
Yes, just know that we're not going to stop trying.
No, never. Never. I mean, even if it's just me by myself, I will forever look for my child. I can't give up on her because she was my very first reason to keep breathing.
Yeah, so we're just going to have hope and just keep praying. And I know that things that are done in the dark have a way of coming to the light.
Always.
And I pray that those that are accountable are executed because that's just so sickening.
For sure. For
just
sure.
sickening and disgusting to literally be so nonchalant and chill and not making enough noise.
It's just like, in my personal opinion, me being a
Somebody said, who's the 10% in the poll? Because I put a poll up. Does Kei'mani's mom sound like a mom to you? I know who those 10% are. Those 10% are good people. They're good people who want to have empathy for the fact that this woman lost her child. I feel for those folks. Unfortunately, I've been desensitized to this madness because I constantly have to look at the evil in people's souls. And I can't be empathetic for somebody who abandoned their child, who brought a child into this world and kept making children. Remember, this is not her only child. This is not, I made a mistake or something bad happened and I had this child and I couldn't take care of them and let grandma have them. And then I decided to try and get my life together or whatever. This is somebody who keeps making children and is not putting these kids first, in my opinion. And so I understand these folks. That 10%, I get them. They're good people who feel sorry for her. And that's okay. But guess what? I feel sorry for kei'mani more. She never had a chance. Let's keep going.
mom, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't been able to care for her. And that's something I've always wanted. You've had her.
Hold on. I want to go back because she just said I haven't been able to care about her. I want to get the context of that. So where's that at? That happened at 6:19. We're gonna go back to 5:50 and see how she segues into that.
Executed because that's just so sickening.
For sure. For
just
sure.
sickening and disgusting to literally be so nonchalant and and chill and not making enough noise.
It's just like, in my personal opinion, me being a mom, and you know what I'm saying, like, I haven't been able to care for her, and that's something I've always wanted. You've had
So she acknowledges that she hasn't been able to care for her daughter. I just want to know why, but let's keep going.
you've had her
You've had
on
her.
and off for like the past, what, 10 to 12 years.
You've had her on and off for the past 10 to 12 years. She's saying it herself. It's like listening to Tyler Wallace all over again. Remember when we broke down that Tyler Wallace show? When we broke down his interview, we used his own words to tell us the story of his relationship with Maddie. I had a lot of people hate on me when I said he sounds like a deadbeat dad to me. And then we finally got the interview. This is just off of me just surmising off of what little information I had. I knew he was a deadbeat dad in terms of giving time to Maddie. And then finally, through FOIA requests, they released his interview and we were able to use his own words against him. The same thing is happening now. Listen to her words.
You've had her on and off. It's been between you and my godmother.
2 different women taking care of her daughter, but her. Her own words, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what the issue is. Are you on drugs? Are you a drug addict? What is it? Tell me. Because that's an excuse. It may not be a good excuse, but it's an excuse. Drug addiction is a disease. Tell me, are you a drug addict? What is it? Are you mentally ill? What is the reason why you can't take care of your daughter that you could openly say on the internet, with no pushback, by the way, that it's for 10 years, over 10 years, it's been between you, grandma, and her godmother that this child is bouncing around to, but yet it's not you, ma, biological mother. It's not you. Let's keep going.
I don't understand how you can take care of and raise someone for that long and not feel.
And not give a fuck.
That doesn't make sense to me.
And not give a fuck.
Well, how could you put somebody into this world and not give a... You brought her into this world. And you made her everybody else's responsibility. And now you questioning why she did not get the care and the love that she deserved when the only person that was truly responsible for care and love of Kamaya was you. Kei'mani, sorry, I said Kamaya. A passion. The person whose responsibility, I'm sorry, it's this energy drink. It's got my heart racing right now. I don't even know what it is. I got it on sale in 7-Eleven. It's got my heart racing. The only person whose responsibility it was to truly love and care for Kei'mani was you, Mom. Yet we're listening to this interview where you're advocating or I can't even speak, whatever. You're putting that responsibility on somebody else.
It doesn't make sense to me.
This stuff is
And
no
not
joke.
give
I'm
a fuck. Then
never drinking it again. I'm not even going to show the name because I don't want to, like I'm doing a review on it. I don't want to mess with their sales. Not that I have that kind of reach on YouTube, but I'm never drinking it again. Let's keep going.
act like, then she acts like she doesn't know her in front of the news station. Then you do know her when they identify you.
Mm-hmm.
They brought up her boyfriend. They brought up his history. They brought up the conflicts between those two.
Mm-hmm.
They brought up the fact that her boyfriend or whatever he is to her shot her in the leg and then has a history of doing stuff to younger.
So think about what she's saying right now is all the rumors that's going out right now. I haven't really covered them because a lot of them are rumors, but I do believe them to be true. But I want to get a little bit more information because we're not done with this story. We're going to follow this. But I'm waiting for a little bit more information before I start coming out with those things. But there's rumors and allegations that house was filled with pedophiles. That's why I told you about my theory My theory, because there's rumors out there that that house was filled with PT files.
Children, and it's just so many people going in and out. The dogs, literally, I don't know what type of dogs they are, but for the dogs to not have a reaction or make any type of noise
Oh
is
no,
ridiculous.
no, them dogs is acting real weird. I seen them dogs. Them dogs is acting real fucking weird. Uh, Precious ain't acting like herself. Precious look depressed. Um, Fucking Prentice is shaky. Prentice is a Chihuahua, but Prentice is not a shaky ass dog. Prentice is shaky, pressed. When I walked in there, I don't know, because like I said, my daughter had been at my house just a couple days before that, so I don't know if Precious could smell my daughter on me. But as soon as she seen me, like she just pressed her whole body up against me, like up against my legs while I was standing up, and she would not stop until I left out that door. So I don't know.
Yeah, and then I hope they do conduct. I hope that they try their hardest to get that search warrant, because it's something about that basement that you mentioned, the basement in your mom's house, that's just creepy as fuck. Has she been down there? Like, have you ever been down there before? Was it
I've
always
been
like that?
I've been down there one fucking time. I don't remember if the windows were boarded or not. I just know when I went down there, because I know my mom had like 6 different lamps down there in that basement. And even then, it was just dark. And it was just creepy. Like, it felt like I was in a horror movie, but wasn't shit going on. It was literally just me trying to go wash my clothes. It didn't look no type of weird. Wasn't like no chains or ropes or nothing out of like nothing weird that wouldn't be in a basement, right? It was a regular ass basement, but I don't know, something about that basement has always made me uncomfortable. I cannot get past the landing, like, cause it, like at my mama house, you got to go down like I think like 3 or 4 stairs, and
I
then it's
don't know.
a
Now they talking some esoteric stuff. Like, come on, man. Like, we want facts here. Somebody's like, why you drinking the energy drink? Because I'm on vacation. I'm staying up all night. Wifey's off for work tomorrow. I don't got to bring the kids to school. I'm staying up all night. Then tomorrow I'm going to get my feet done. Got to get that done. I'm going to do a little shopping because this is my birthday week, guys. Strategic is turning 41. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I want some facts. They talking some funky stuff. They talking about basements that don't feel right, but they don't have nothing in there because it's a regular basement, but I really never liked the basement. Like, what are you talking about here? What are you talking about? Let's keep going.
landing, and then it's like probably like 5 to 8 stairs, and then you in the basement. But just getting to that landing, like it feels like, when like all the hair on your body stand up, and then like you get like your stomach drop. What it feels like it just something about that basement don't feel safe, and no matter how much light you bring into that room, it's always still dark.
So I was thinking, with the lights that you guys got, if there was enough of them, would it be bright enough to at least look around?
I mean, and that's why I said, because I know, like I said, I know my cousin.
All right, I'm done with that. Let's go over to the next one. Let's see what Aki got for us. Oh, so this is the custody one that I saw. So we'll go back here. And listen some more. See if she gives anything probative. But they're kind of like talking. They're talking circles, and it's kind of getting on my nerves.
Because my cousins actually stayed at like just taking them boards off and bring a lot of
Do you
like get to
think
the washer and
that
dryer.
do you think that she would allow the search in her basement?
They're talking about doing a search in a basement, but I'm not sure which basement they're talking about. If it's the grandmother or somebody else's basement. Big shout out to Miss Melanie83 with a $4.99 super chat. Says, well, Strategic, I've been 41 for 8 months now. It's past my bedtime. I'll catch the rewatch in the AM for my ride to work. Okay, man, appreciate you for coming through. Thanks for the super chat, and you have a great rest. But for the rest of us on the After Dark show, because this is Strategic After Dark, we're going to be continuing to go down this rabbit hole. Let's keep going.
I mean, when them police get that search warrant, there's no stopping them.
Yeah. I hope that they do, so that they can search her part and also the people upstairs. Because I don't know if there's anyone that lives directly next to your mom, but I don't know where the woman that said she lived right next to your mom and she had moved. I don't know what side of the house that she lived on.
No, so if she lived, I mean, I would just ask her, like, did you live next to the field? Because that's the only house that I remember somebody being in. And when we went over there, we was over there damn near all day. I never seen nobody like on the porch. I never seen no light turn on, no nothing. They're like, did you live in the house next to the field? But the house on the other side is a woman and her kids, and they been there.
Okay, so there's one that's abandoned. She said that she said in the post, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna tag you in it, that she said to search there as well, because if your cousin heard that, it can have been, I don't know how your mom's house is set up. I don't know if she has people that live behind her, but for
No,
him to
it's the
hear,
alley behind my mama.
okay, so for him to have heard a woman saying that, it has to come from either way, either spot, either side.
I mean, yeah, he said he couldn't pinpoint exactly where it was coming from, but it was loud enough for him to hear it. Loud enough for him to hear it. But from where my cousins was at, they didn't hear it.
Okay, so your cousins were closer to the alley then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that he wouldn't have heard it from.
All right, so we're about to queue up. We're about to
that no
queue up.
longer lives there. That means he probably would have heard it.
We're gonna queue up the grandmother and the daughter, the bio daughter, who's the mother of kei'mani, going at it. Aki just sent it to me. I'm gonna go ahead and we keep playing this while I'm doing this in the background, setting up that beam footage for you. So just stand by. It's about to get really interesting. I've seen this one before. You guys know when I see something, I'm honest with you. So this is not gonna be a dry reaction. Just know it's very ghetto and it's just very just inappropriate. But anyway, let's keep letting this play while I set that up for you guys.
Unless somebody is in that house, then it could have been. He said he was in my mama's backyard pissing. So it could have came from my mama's house. It could have came from the house with the woman and her kids. It could have came from the house that's vacant. We don't know. He said he could not pinpoint the direction. He just knew he heard it and it freaked him out.
Does the woman next door with the kids, does she have cameras?
I believe she does, but I think she was also one of them ones that said that her camera stopped working.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, I would have them run that over.
Aki, you sent the short version, but do me a favor, give me the long version. I'm gonna play this right here, but the long version, I think, needs to be heard. The long version needs to be heard. But anyway, we're gonna play this right now.
This scene right here, this happened on Monday. This is the scene where Kei'mani Latigue was found deceased in a burned up building. This is while the crowd was outside, including her biological mother, waiting to hear the news. There began an altercation.
She's doing a lot of talking, Aki. Let me get one that's clean.
With the just listen.
You did that to your own grandbaby. Own grandbaby. Nigga, you told me.
I can't use this. This is crazy. Nah, that ain't the one. Dude, give me the clean version, a long one, if you can. I thought that was gonna be like the raw version where they're like over there, like really going into it. If you can, if you can't, it's okay. But anyway, I'm gonna go back over here. I want to go back over here actually and play some of this because I think the news did a really good job breaking this down. So while we're working on getting that interaction between the two, We're going to go back to the
charge
news.
as well.
So, as my understanding right now is the murder charge is added and the abduction charge is still there, but that's right now, those are the only charges that are out there. Obviously, as we work through all of the statements and all the leads that we have now, there may be additional charges.
Do you believe that Darnell acted alone, or is at the time right now, are you guys considering other suspects, or is there other people you guys are looking at?
We're always looking at the chance that there might.
That's a big thing for me. Like, just to clarify, I don't like reacting to other creators reacting to stuff. Like, that's a big pet peeve for me. And a lot of people send me stuff too. So just keep that in mind, guys. I get a lot of emails with people like, hey, this person's reacting to this and they got some really good insight. It's interesting, but I just feel it's disrespectful to react to somebody else's stuff, especially as a YouTuber too. Like, what if I react to it and I don't agree with what another content creator is saying about a certain topic? Then that's kind of rude of me, to react to something. I'm not a big fan of that. I think people have their content and you got to respect it, and you just take it for whatever is worth and you do your own thing. So, when the lady's talking over it, reacting to something that we could possibly find that's clean, I'm not interested in doing it. I feel it's disrespectful to content creators. So think about that when you're sending me stuff. Most likely Strategic is not going to react to somebody reacting to something else. Very big pet peeve of mine. Now, if a creator has information, they're just playing it. Like when we react to like the news or a creator that's posting body-worn camera or something like that, that's a different story. But like when a creator's breaking down something, I'm not going to react to a creator breaking down something. To me, that is disrespectful to that creator. Definitely. It's not cool. So I would never do that. So don't even send it to me if you think that that's what you want me to do. Let's keep going.
Might be multiple people involved. I don't necessarily believe that or disbelieve that that's the case right now, but that is something that we will continue to run down through the investigations. There are statements that always conflict each other, and there's always kinds of things that need to be tied up in an investigation, and that's the phase we're in right now. So right now, we only have one person charged.
I know why you guys can't say what he told detectives yet. There was a lot of talk earlier about his statements not matching, which was said in a police report. There were a lot of inconsistent statements and stuff. The statement that he's given now, is it a bit clearer? You don't have to say the details of that. I know you guys are still working, but is it clear?
I think we have a much better understanding of what happened. By far a lot more understanding after we talked to him. But at that point, that's about as much detail as I can give you on our conversation with him.
Do you think that, hearing from the community, this is a case we've seen the social media very, very present with a lot of comments and sometimes mispeculation and misinterpretation, misinformation, a lot of that being spread out there in social media, people saying he was found before he was even found, Do you guys wish maybe you would have communicated a little earlier about this case, or do you guys wish you would have had a press conference or something?
So there was nothing that we could have done in a press conference. We did a press release or a news release from the department, and our detective bureau did as well. And then our detective, our lieutenant in charge of the investigations, was on scene that day and actually gave an interview that day. There's nothing else that we could have done in a press conference. We gave out that information. We waited on the press release from the coroner. Those are different things that we do that give out details. A lot of times, and
guys, right now, my attention is a little averted only because I'm trying to find, because I actually got that link before in the past. I'm trying to get the link for the argument between the mother and the grandmother at the crime scene. So bear with me.
Up until, he was arrested, there wasn't a lot of information we could put out. And so at that point, a press conference is not really going to accomplish anything. We were giving out as much information as we could. Social media is going to be social media, and people are always going to speculate and run with their own theories. And unfortunately, we can't control that. But the reality is, most things you read on social media, especially early, probably aren't even true.
Speaking of that and social media, is there any rumors right now regarding this case that you want to dispel right now that you can think of, like, hey, this is the fact?
I can't think of it. Well, I can't think of anything out there on social media right now. I try to avoid it as much as I can. So I don't have anything really right now that I would say, hey, stop listening to that because it's not true. And really, it's probably too early for us to even address some of those issues.
There is a lot of things going on in this case and a lot of details and things being looked at. We know that you guys are still investigating, but you know, in terms of how long you think you guys are getting closer to the answer and closer to a conclusion, you know, how long do you think this is going to take to play out?
Unfortunately, that's very hard to speculate. There is a lot involved in this case. Obviously, we're talking about 2 different cities being involved. We're talking about, you know, we have a week of things that happened, right? So we are working the case as fast as we can. As I said before, I think we're in a really good place investigatively, and I think as soon as we can button everything up and run down every lead, the last thing we want to do is be premature in our charges or premature in saying this is the only suspect we have, we're good. We don't like to do that. We like to make sure we investigate everything out there, so when we do take this to trial, there is no room for doubt.
Speaking of that, you guys are reactionary, right? I mean, when there's trouble in the city, you guys are the ones called and you guys come in. But looking at this case and just looking in general, is there anything that the community can do with things like this or with situations like this that help prior to you guys having to come out and do something?
Oh, absolutely. So
take care of your
our community
children.
knows their neighborhood better than any police officer can possibly know it, right? So no matter how many hours we spend in the neighborhood, there's things that we will never hear or never see that other community members or family members are seeing. So if there's ever any doubt in anybody's minds about...
So I'm trying to find, because I know it's on Facebook, the argument. I type in facebook.com and this is what pop up. I don't know if it's because I previously searched this or whatever, but look who pops up. Naziah Harris. Naziah Harris pop up, but just a video of her just being a kid, just living her life, doing her TikToks, dancing, talking to, you know, fake lip singing like these kids do to the rap songs for the gram and for the TikTok. Just her being a beautiful little girl. That's what pops up. You know, come on. That's what pops up. I don't know if it's just the last thing I searched on Facebook, or if it's Providence, or she just wanted to be seen and she just wanted to be heard. I don't know. But we see you and we hear you. We see you. Can't play the music because YouTube will punish me if I play it. She's dancing to music. It'd be copyright and all that extra stuff. But we see you. We see you. We see you. All right, let's keep going.
So let's take this case, right? So if you ever have any doubt that some child is being abused or something is just not right, then by all means, notify.
Days since kei'mani's body was found in a vacant house. This morning, our cameras were out there as crews were cutting the utilities to the property. And since then, all of these people who've been leaving items outside for that memorial, they've also moved that memorial. Father, Darnell Jones, is charged with her murder. He is still in Columbus, recovering in a hospital after a confrontation with Columbus police officers. He will need to be booked and arraigned there for that incident before he is extradited to Toledo. As of tonight, we still do not have a timeline as
The murder of kei'mani Latigue prompted this review of Lucas County Children's Services with the ultimate hope that there's never another case like hers, by reviewing the entire operation at Children's Services.
You got to start where you start, and it's going to go where it goes.
What's going on here? Because the internet is undefeated. You know how the internet do. The internet is undefeated, man. They will find you. Big shout out to everybody who's watching right now. We're over 300 people watching this live right now. Please hit that like button, support the channel. Appreciate you guys. So this is Grandma's, look at Grandma's mugshot. They don't play on the internet. Internet is undefeated. Aggravated assault, deadly weapon. She's dangerous. She's dangerous. Look at her. She's dangerous. Let's keep going. So this is her talking about how she learned her daughter was missing.
Who don't know you, they have like a lot of questions as far as where were you. So basically, obviously, I know
I
you're.
mean, we can start there too. Shit. I didn't even know that my daughter was missing. My youngest daughter's birthday was the 17th, St. Patty's Day.
She didn't even know her daughter was missing because her daughter don't talk to her on a regular to say, hey, I didn't hear from her today. This a little odd. Hey, Grandma, I haven't spoken to her all day. She usually calls me 2-3 times a day because I'm her mother. Everything okay? She didn't even know her daughter was missing because she don't speak to her daughter. Let's keep going.
So when I went to bed that night, I was good and drunk. I was good and fucked up.
She a mother, and she do have some kids living with her, from what I heard. But I heard a lot of her kids get taken away too. She talking about how she was messed up and drinking and high and all that extra stuff. See where her priorities are? But now she want to be mother of the year. Look where her priorities are, and now she want to be mother of the year. We see you. We see you too. We don't see you the same way we saw Naziah just a little while ago, but we see you. Let's keep going.
Comatose. I woke up around, I woke up to my sister calling me. My sister lives in Indianapolis. My sister called me, I think it was probably like 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. And she was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, what are you talking about? She say, why is Kei'mani face plastered all over Facebook? And why is they talking about she missing? And my sister is in absolute hysterics. My sister's not a crier. She's very much like me. She don't cry. But she's like, why is my baby's pictures all over Facebook? And I told her, I was like, I don't have Facebook on my phone. I don't be on social, so I don't know. Police officers at my mama's door. So, that's that.
Okay, so to also debunk this, that Darnell was wanted for something, or there was a warrant for him and he was nowhere to be found, which is not true. Correct?
No, it's not. Darnell's been perfectly cooperative. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, when I was on my way down here,
bro, the internet is
when
undefeated.
I was on my way down here, because I got on the bus at around
they got mommy's charges too. The internet's undefeated. We'll get to that in a second. Let's keep
12
going.
or whatever, like 12 in the afternoon. So I called him to let him know, like, hey, I'm on my way down there. I should be there by like 2. And he was already at the precinct. He said they had just, completely tore his house up, went through everything, searched everything. And then they brought him down to the precinct so that they could interrogate him. After they interrogated him, because they kept him down there for a long time. They took his phone. They asked him if he had cameras. He said, yes, in fact, we do. But they didn't ask for the camera footage. But he said, had they asked, he would have offered it up, no problem.
All right. She ain't saying it. She's saying a whole lot of nothing. Let's listen to this right here. Let's watch this rather. So this is allegedly the rap sheet of the mother. So this is the mother, Tiara Caston, however you say her name. She's got these charges on her rap sheet. Looks like this was in 2013, if I'm reading it correctly. She got indicted on attempted trafficking offense. I don't believe that is ex-trafficking. I think it's drug trafficking. Another trafficking offense, criminal possession of tools that will most likely be burglary tools. Looks like she did a noli plea. And for the attempted trafficking offense, she pled guilty. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, 2014. Look at these low bond numbers. This is why people be doing all this crap, man, because they don't have to deal with it's like in these communities, like the government just gives up on them. Like, it's a poor, impoverished community. where everybody's got a criminal record, you know, don't keep them in prison. Just let them go. Let them destroy themselves. Don't you get that feeling sometimes, like in some of these communities, like you see these super low bonds, it's almost like they're being set up for failure. Because it's like no effort on the part of law enforcement and the government to kind of like try and have law and order. Like these folks do these heinous crimes and then they just release them. Like, yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, just let them back out. Who cares? They're going to go back into those communities, destroying their brothers and sisters out there. Who cares? It's almost like a plot to destroy these communities. I'm not even talking about the people. I'm talking about the government. Is it like it just seems like they want these folks to go back into these communities? What's a $2,500 bond? You gotta pay 10% of that. You gotta pay 10% of that. They a couple $100 and you out. And then you don't even have to have the money. You could, if you got a car, if you own your beat up car is going to be worth more than $500. So they gave you a $2,500 bail or bond or whatever. You could easily bond out it. You only paying $250 or something like that. I don't know. You do the math. So nobody's staying in prison because they all get these super low bonds and they got a pinky ring. If they say that's the only thing they never pawned, that pinky ring, guess what? That pinky ring worth $1,000 could get them out. Get that to the bail bondsman. That's the collateral right there. Anyway, let's keep going. So you got another one here for domestic violence. She pled guilty on that one too. This one happened in 2018. Yep, that says 2018. Let's keep going. This one's $10,000. At least they took the DV a little seriously. But she was the aggressor. These are violent females. Grandmas abusing people, mommies abusing people. These are violent females. I wonder who was the victim of this lady. Let's keep going. Was it a kid? Was it her man? Was it her girlfriend? I don't know. I don't know how she rolls. I don't know who it's on. I don't know. Let's keep going. Felonious assault. That means that you used a weapon and you caused serious physical injury. Aggravated assault. Well, I wonder what the aggravating factor was. This is all mommy's rap sheet. When did this happen? This happened in 2015. And then domestic violence and endangering. Usually when you got an endangering charge across this country, usually involves a child. Let's keep going. What was the disposition? She got 25,000 on this one. Them numbers just keep going up. Those numbers keep going up. Wow. What's this one? This is 2013 again. I think they just cycled in. Did it just cycle over again? Is this going to keep going? Yeah. So this one just keeps going. So we had reached the end of it. We went back to the trafficking. Let's keep going. Let's keep going down the rabbit hole. I don't know about this. Darnell Jones confesses to why he unallowed Kei'mani. I don't know if this is real. Let's see. Let's see if it's real.
Horrific cases.
Ah, it sounds stupid. Don't sound like it's official tissue. Somebody just trying to get attention on the face bizzles. Let's keep going. Let's listen to this knucklehead. This is a couple years ago.
What do I do? What's up, my bro?
He got the crazy man eyes. Look at him. Oh, this is a long version. I never seen this version. We're gonna end the video. We're gonna end this live with this one, right? With this one right here. I want as much information as I could get on Kei'mani. I want to know her family. I want to get to know her family. So please do email me everything you got on Kei'mani, people. If y'all see Facebook posts, if you think it's going to disappear, screen record it and send it to me. Whatever. Links, Facebook, Instagram, X, I don't care. Send me information on Kei'mani. This little girl is going to get heard on True Crime with Strategic. We are going to say her name. We're going to scream her name to the hills. We're going to expose these people. Let's keep going.
Been just going through some things, man. I don't know what the fuck to do.
Dude is nuts. His brain is melting, man. His brain is melting. You can see this guy's mentally ill. We know he's mentally ill. It's not even a cop-out. We know what he did to Kei'mani. Only a mentally ill person would do what he did to Kei'mani. Not even the X part, just the physical stuff. No, nobody's going to do that. We know what he did. We should have a mental health clinic in every single community. But we rather buy bombs. Let's keep going.
Y'all, I'm really going through some things and people don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Missed opportunity. We could have saved this man from himself if we'd only invest in mental health. Now, I have no sympathy for this pedophile. I would love to put him on Bikini Island and run some tests on Bikini Island. And anybody know what Bikini Island is, you better look it up and see what kind of tests they run on Bikini Island. But we could have saved him from himself if only we would invest in mental health. Now it's too late. Now we want blood, fire, and brimstone, and rightfully so, but we could have saved him from himself.
I'm not mad. So much stress, so much anger. And I'm just trying to do the right thing. I pray, I read my Bible. I try to help out people the best as I can. And I'm just not feeling this. It ain't financial or none of that, bro. If you thinking that's what it is. It's nothing like that. It's just something mental. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through something mentally and physically fucked up with me. I ain't been feeling the same.
Well, I think this is real. I know we mad at this guy, but this is real. This was years before this stuff happened. I don't know if he was abusing Kei'mani at this time, but this is years before. This is real. This guy is having a mental breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. He's calling out for help. Unfortunately, nobody's listening.
Ain't nothing wrong, man. Just, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that's on my chest that I can't control. It ain't, like, I don't know how to explain it, man. All I gotta do is just keep trying to stay good, be good, man. That's all. I ain't get on here to have nobody show sympathy, nothing, or anything. It's just so much shit happens to people out here, and nobody know what really the real stories be. So, you know, I just get on here, try to let people know what's going on. If you care, you care. It's just something mental. I just want a hug, y'all. Give me a hug. A hug would be wonderful. I'm gonna try to figure something out. But fuck what my issues is. Somebody talk to me, get my mind off of all this bullshit. What y'all doing today?
That's another problem. People look to the wrong places for help. You know, we do have an issue with mental health support in this country. We talk about it all the time on this channel. Look, even I'm showing empathy, tiny modicum of empathy for this pedophile, for the fact that years ago, before he committed his crime, he was reaching out for help. But what are people doing? They're reaching out to help for the wrong places. Facebook can't help you. Instagram can't help you. TikTok can't help you. Tell me that you went to a clinician and they told you you had no insurance and you couldn't get help. Now, you know, I'm going to have some real empathy for you because you tried. But then again, on the flip side, I can now bring it back to us as a society to take some blame because we don't even let people even know that mental health is even an option for them. In our society, we make it seem like getting counseling is something only for rich people, that it's not available to the average Joe. In our cultures, we also make people feel that they're weak if they get help. You're crazy if you go get help. You're weak that you can't manage your emotions or manage your problems without needing assistance. That's the stigmas that we put on these things that make people afraid to go get professional help because they don't want to be viewed as lesser than thou. We fail on so many levels.
Rough. Fucking fingers. I can't even bend my hand for real. I had to fucking overlap my fingers just to boil a fish.
Somebody made a good point. You had people like Stephen Stearns in these same communities that guys like him might be reaching out to help for, pretending like they're the clinicians, giving advice. You got pedophiles giving other pedophiles advice on how to be good human beings. That's how how much of a wild, wild west the internet is. reaching out for help in the wrong places. Integrity Means All says therapy has been commonly accepted as somewhat normal, in my honest opinion. In what community? In what community? Maybe in your community, but do you know how therapy is accepted in his community? Do you know what his family's going to say if he says, I'm seeing a therapist? You got to think about that, because I encounter a lot of people who don't feel that way, who look at therapy as a sign of weakness, who look at therapy as a luxury, and they feel the same way about both those things, or one or the other. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You can't speak for every black person, Integrity Means All. Just like I can't, you can't either. You don't know. I don't know, you don't know. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know who he knows. You don't know how every person reacts to these circumstances. I disagree wholeheartedly, but we'll respectfully agree to disagree. That's what I love about our community, and no disrespect to you, because a lot of people get upset when I talk to the chat. What is this show if I can't talk to the chat? If you say something in public, and this is not Integrity saying this is other people who've, oh, why do you call people out in the chat? Because that's what I do. I've been doing this for 6 years. Before I came to True Crime, I talk to my chat. I debate with my chat. That's what makes this thing fun. I don't debate with my chat. I don't want to do YouTube no more. So it's no disrespect to Integrity. I appreciate you for saying your point of view. I just respectfully disagree. And for anybody who doesn't like me talking to the chat, this may not be a place for you, but let's keep going.
You have always known, huh? Hey, Randy. Booter, you remember when you told me that God got a plan for me? You told me God got a plan for me, and that's the reason why I keep going through all of this shit, because he keep putting me through the test. When is the test gonna be over, bro? I just want it to be over with. I hate the way I think. I hate the way I see things.
I hate the way I think. I hate the way I see things. You guys hear this? You guys hear this? So cry for help. Big shout out to Pris DP with 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much for the 5 gift memberships. Very kind of you. Everybody who got that free gift membership better say thank you to Pris. That was very kind of her. Did you guys hear that call for help? I hate the way I think. I hate the way I think.
And all I do is sit back and try to just act like I don't see shit. Because if I do something about it, I'm going to jail. I'm the one getting in trouble.
Prophetic words. You're going to jail. You're getting in trouble. Somebody said you almost feel sorry for him. Of course you do, because you're human. You're human. And before, if this happened afterwards, of course, we'd have no empathy for him. But this happened before, years before. He cried out for help, and our society was not equipped to identify him and help him. And now he is a monster that we cannot forgive. But it's perfectly natural for us to look at this human being years before crying out for help in the wrong places.
I just want to know, what's the real purpose for me to be here, man? I literally like helping people. I like doing yard work. I like working with people in general. But yet, it's always, I feel like something is being thrown at me, if that makes sense. I don't know. But then again, I can't keep crying about shit. I can't keep putting myself down. Like, I got jobs lined up, y'all. I got shit lined up for like the next fucking month to where I can make some money, to where I can live good. But it's just so much shit inside of my head that I don't want there.
You hear that? It's almost like we watching a prophecy. Man was sick.
I'm just about to sit here for like...
Somebody say he seems pretty well spoken and intelligent. He seems pretty crazy to me. This man was sick. He needed help. He was crying out for help. He's crying out in the wrong places. I've abused you guys long enough. You guys been with me for well over 2 hours. It's now midnight where I'm at. For some of you guys who are in the Northeast, you're out here midnight with me too. I think it's time to bid you adieu. Guys, big shout out to everybody who contributed and showed love to the show today with a super chat. Big shout out to all the members who came through and showed love to me. Big shout out on everybody who donated a membership to people who didn't have memberships before. I hope you guys enjoy your memberships, the ones that you got. We do have a membership. If you don't know about it, you get exclusive content through the membership. Also, we have a Patreon where we have exclusive content that is now no longer found on the membership. We did share a lot of the content with the Patreon and membership in the past. We're not doing that anymore. We're giving exclusive content to the Patreon and exclusive content to the membership. So if you want that full experience, you're going to have to subscribe to both. But that's just my opinion, just my suggestion. You do whatever you want to do. I do appreciate you guys for supporting me in this endeavor and this dream to give a voice to the voiceless. Please make sure you hit the like button on your way out the door. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.